Ecological radical. Let's save two birds with one stone. Get a look on how the stadium's coming. And so the water fallacy. They're going to flush, they're going to flush, they're going to flush. So apparently they've got the water out of the tanks at Fukushima in the treatment canals and ready to flush. Well, let me tell you something. And they probably are flushing what water's in those tanks. There's no doubt in my mind. But the problem is, they've been flushing the entire time. We're going on 5,000 days. We're over 12 years. And I can prove it. They've been flushing the whole time. If they had enough tanks to take all the water they've been pouring on, the tanks would be the Tower to Babel and cover the entire island. There'd be millions of tanks. So, and I can prove it. It just came out. It was China media that reported it. The rockfish in the harbor have 18,000 becquerels per kilogram of cesium-137 in them. Oh, it's just in the harbor. We'll put a net up. What, 12 years later? Okay, let's go last year. Off the coast, 1,400 becquerels of cesium-137. How far is that over the safe limits? Well, which safe limits are you going to use? The ones that Obama and Trump raised after Fukushima? They both did it. Japan did it. So, breaking news, fish swim. Breaking news, hello, the cores have burrowed into the mantle. We got earthquakes popping all over. Remember when everything washed up dead on the peninsula? You do know about the Japanese trench. You know about the trenches. I mean, come on, kids. Do we have to go back to first grade geography? You do know about the Japanese current. You do know about the California current. That bridge from Japan, from Fukushima, entire bridge. When Fukushima happened, made it to Gold Beach in 6 days. Come on, man. You're going to go for this? Now, I'm sure they're flushing, and it's not going to make it any better. Of course, it's going to make it worse. But these Johnny-come-latelys that want to scream their heads off about this, where you been? Where you been? Where you been? Come on, let's prop this on Lillard's number. No, that's Tron Johnson's number. You know? So, let's try to save two birds, see how the stadium's coming. I did the play-by-play for right there, Rashid Shaheed. Towards ACL on the last play ever played, right there, right where that flag's laying on the field, the hat. What a comeback, eh? Kevin Blanche. So, I'm having surgery today. I'm nervous. Yeah. So, again. So, this is how this madness started in 2011 with me. I got a stomach ache. This is the only football field in the world named after a woman. What's it named after? The nuclear industry. For real. General Electric, Utah Construction merged in 1975. Elizabeth D. Shaw Stewart, she's the heir. She donated $750 million here in 1975. You know, the nuclear industry runs this university. This is University of General Electric. That's a fact, yeah. So, I'm having surgery. Just the fact that I taught at the #1 school of business here at the Wada School for all those years, and I got blackballed for going up there. And now the FBI's in here investigating. This was the dirtiest football program in the country. Look it up. Until Jay Hill came in and turned around. It's clean now. It's really clean. It's one of the great turnarounds in all of sport history. So the Fukushima dynamic, what if he built the reactors? You know? So I'm in the belly of the beast. Have been the whole time. So I got tumors in my lower right mesentery in 2011, 12 years ago right now. And the rest, it's been an ugly, hardcore path. Ended up being AML leukemia, the presented tumors, which was a death sentence. Went into the bone marrow transplant on 11/11/11, as you know, with no chance, really. I survived, I don't know how. And I remember the golf coach here at the same time got the same thing as me. He passed on. One of the other professors, you know, I had been blackballed. I was untenured. I had all that Tesla stock I forked over, so it was tumors. So, of course, they misdiagnosed. Right behind here is the #1 school of nursing in the country. Oh, yeah. They teach it. You know, the woman who started that nursing school is an oncology nurse at LDS. I mean, she's the greatest. She's retired now. But those nurses saved my life. Weaver Shade nurses saved my life down at LDS. So the chemo took out my aortic valve, as you know. So this is a crazy story. It wore at my aortic valve, so And they wouldn't treat me. Nobody treat me, and I ran out of money. I was uninsured. I forked over all that Tesla stock, all that Apple stock, almost $1 million. It broke me. I was almost dead. So my gallbladder went, my teeth went from the chemo, blah, 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 blah. I had a heart murmur I was born with, but it accelerated. It was gone. I kept saying it. My heart's going. It's going. So I'd been at the Trump rally and at the Bernie Sanders, and I asked them both. I've asked them both. Trump, I'm yelling from here to there. He's right there. It made Fox News. Trump, you going to talk about Fukushima? Into the rally, and he says, yes. You made Fox News. My phone's lighting up. That day I came home. Weber State was playing in the NCAA tournament that day. I was in March Madness, I believe, but 2016. So Bongoy on that team, and so I stopped at the store right here, Smith's, to get some juice. I felt, it's like, it's been a long day. I'll never forget it. I stepped out of my car and I was like, something hit me. I almost fell down. I was like, what the fuck was that? It was my heart. And so I kept going. I was uninsured. I kept going to Ogden Regional Medical Center over there and seeing a guy named Michael Hawkins. I saw him too. I'm just bleeding profusely up my face. It's bursting through my face. It's my heart. No, I ran the test. It's not your heart. It was my heart. I collapsed on a Sunday, Easter. Got up there 2017, and all that bleeding and suffering for that year, they opened and replaced the valve. The valve never worked. Remember, I was walking off the course. I kept saying that my shoulders, sharp pains, the sharp pain. They kept blaming it on neuropathy. That valve never worked. And so I kept telling them all year. I got down to 138 pounds this year. I didn't have a car. I ran out of money. I have no support. I weigh 170 naturally. I have a lot of muscle in my body, and I'm just fading away. I'm telling them, it's my heart is shooting. My mind, I call it. No. We did the test. So, as you know, I had a heart attack on Christmas Eve and gutted through it, and then had another one on New Year's Day, and they wouldn't even get me in until the 3rd. Fried my entire electrical system. I just run into the nurse that used to have to bathe me, the young nurse. And I thank you for everything you did for me. God, you look like a whole other person. And I got put on 30 pounds of muscle back. It's been a hardcore recovery. It's been a brutal past since Fukushima happened. I'm just like the Pacific Ocean. I'm wounded mightily. I mean, just the salmon collapse, the typhoons, all coincidence, and everybody's just gone like this. We're afraid of nuclear meltdowns. We're afraid of nuclear meltdowns. Something to happen, and then it's see no nuclear energy, hear no nuclear energy, speak no smell. I mean, just don't say the F word. If this doesn't prove who runs the world, Kevin Blanch. I was never the guy. There's that famous picture in Austria. I spent all that time in Vienna at the Blanch box fighting with the IAEA. Those things at the Big Z today, they're all shut down. So I'm there all the time protesting. And there's that famous picture in Vienna. I stay right there in front of the palace when Hitler declared Austria his, and everybody's saluting Hitler. And there's one guy going like this, Augusta. Everybody in Austria says, that's my grandpa. That's me. So the sheep, the herds of sheep, which are right-left sheep, that herd of sheep that's headed off the cliff, the Republicans and the Democrats just kind of separated them, and they're still going right there. They're still going off the cliff. They won't talk about the environment. They won't talk about they won't say the F word. Nobody will. Fukushima, because nothing else matters. I saw Metallica on this field right here, 98. It'll be 25 years ago tomorrow. Jordan hit the shot. Please give me 98 back. Right here. It was a rainstorm just like today. Lightning, thunder hit, and they went out. They left. Everybody thought it was over. They came back. Ride the Lightning was the name of that tour. Split me open, pour me out. There's things inside this scream and shout. Where's your crown? All you people that gone along with this cover-up for the greatest ecological catastrophe in human history, you're afraid of nuclear meltdowns. You're afraid of nuclear meltdowns until they happen. They happened. If it never happened at Mayak, never happened in San Jose, never happened in Chernobyl. They entombed one graphite dig 700,000 men, and that was horrific, and it was horrible. 3 Mile Island, the cover-up. Santa Susana. Mayak, all these catastrophes. They weren't this. These are full core meltdowns. You're chalk. Everything that happened post, up to coincidence. Coincidence don't get it in science. Kevin Blanch, the greatest PhD in human history. I'm having surgery today. I've got a tumor inside me. They think, they've ran all the blood tests. Them a bone marrow biopsy would be, I don't think they're going to have to. They said they don't think they need to. They're going to suck it out. They're not going to puncture it like they did before. But that's how this morning started. This is on my left side. is on my right side, right where leukemia can present tumors, and it's usually a death sentence. It's called the Nouveau. I watched the NBA Finals game last night with my great nephew, who was given a few years ago. He got neuroblastoma, and he and I watched the NBA Finals game together. He's 7 now. You know, us survivors. My father passed away from this brutal disease. He was nuked to death in Nevada test site from Ogden, Utah. You know, I'm so Utah. I live in the so the tank water fallacy, the Lambert, the unicorn. Don't drop your carry cat. You just dropped your dry cask container. Uh-oh. 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 Don't drop your dry cask. So don't drop your dry cask container. Get a new track. I'll tell you a great story about this track. Coach Peterson, I believe he's still alive. He's almost 100 years old. Coach Peterson was the legendary track coach here. I was a track coach. Dad used to have to go get ahead of ice on himself. I ran for Walquist, he ran for THville, I ran for Weaver, he ran for blah, blah, blah. I ran, it was called the 880 then, the half mile. We were learning metrics then. And so Coach Peterson told me, he says, yeah, we got the first asphalt track here, because I was terrible on a gravel track. But I got on an asphalt track, I would win. You got me on a gravel track, I would lose. He says, you know, we got the first asphalt track here? I said, how? He says, we did a fundraiser from out there where you live, the west, and everybody brought in their old tractor tires. Any old tires, whatever. We built a machine. Weaver State had this new cutting edge machine, and we ground them up right there, and we made our own. That's the old Weaver State I remember when we were in the #1 school business in the country. And I was the guy doing the due diligence and all these nuclear reactors, going after them. Please give me the 90s back. Downsizing the military. We're still anti-nukers. No inflation. None. None. You know, it was a happy time. We had a surplus. Now it's really an out-of-control debt. Hyperinflation. Continual, perpetual war machine. Went off to Afghanistan to kill the Taliban. Went off to Iraq to get a big old sack. Went off to Vietnam to kill the Viet Cong. That's boogeyman, boogeyman, boogeyman. They invented ISIS. Let's go make it rain in Ukraine and not stop. It's disgusting. You know, really out of control debt, hyper psychoinflation, crumbling infrastructure, don't drink the fucking water, poison food chain, homeless crisis from hell. I mean, oh my God. 25 years, Jordan hit the shot, Stockton Malone. Been all downhill ever since. So, the tank fallacy, they're going to flush. There's no doubt this is real. But how much water did they catch in those tanks? About that much compared to that. They've been dumping the whole time. You're going to chalk the tide pool wipe out. Kevin Blanch, first is going to take the tide pools. These are full blown out meltdowns. And I'm the only person on earth that called me. And they marched out every half nuker there was. They all out Keldicott. She says, the Japanese are tidy people. They cleaned it up. They marched out Chris Busby. The Pacific Ocean's a big place. It'll lose. They marched out Arnie Gundershow. He says he called it a hydrogen blast, including in my site. I had to block him for years. The IAA didn't even rank it a 7. Oh, it's only a 7. The scale only goes to 7. These are full core meltdowns that Einstein said, if this genie ever gets in the bowel, Albert Einstein, hell of a way to boil water. He says if this genie ever gets out, it's going to change every piece of biology on Earth. It's going to cause virus. It's going to cause mutation. It's going to alter everything. Will humans adapt? First, he was asking animals were that. He says, well, humans are animals. Yeah, in 50 generations. Kevin Blanch, these are full-blown nuts. They're going to push it in the ocean. They're going to genocide the Pacific Ocean. First, the starfish will go. Did they? Did they? Yep. Then the anchovies and sardines will go. Then the whales will go. The salmon, the smoking gun, we don't get 10 humans in bone marrow transplants. Oh, Kevin Blanch does. I was almost one of them. We don't count dead starfish, tide pools. Oh, I did. I walked the entire coast, dying of fucking cancer. Sleeping in a sleeping bag. Speaking in the keynote speaker in these shutdown hearings at Center Northford, we kicked it. Then, I'm literally sleeping in a sleep bag on the beach in critical condition with no money. No, I have such little support. Thank you who has supported this, but run along. I ain't going to quit you. We count every salmon. You can go from the Copper to every river down, the Kenai, the Fraser, the mighty Columbia, the Willamette, damn it, the Rogue, the Deschutes, the Jedediah Smith has no dam. I says the Steelhead will crash immediately. They come home, they live in the sea. Big fish eat little fish. You broke the chain. You promised you would never break the chain. Huh, you broke the chain. Ride the lightning. The steelhead go to sea 1 to 2 years. They'll start to crash in 2012. We have 10 years of data. They crashed. We had record returns on all these rivers in 2008, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and then the Army Corps of Engineers classifies Kevin Blanch, Wyoming Crew Condition, the greatest PhD in human history, and then takes down the life camp. I says, will you believe me, when the Chinook crashed in 2016, their record returns, big beast. Why? Because they go to sea on average of 5 years. Will you believe me then? Everybody's laughing at me. Oh, it happened. I mean, crashed. I mean, the commercial fishing's closing basically from Mexico to Alaska, and they're still getting, you should see how low these Copper River numbers are. All of them. I mean, it's catastrophe. You know, and it went off a cliff in 2016. That's not gradual, not dams. Jedediah Smith has no dams, and it's in perfect symphony with the other rivers. They're dying at sea. And the biologists finally admit it. They wouldn't admit it. Don't say the F word. Whatever you do, don't say the F word. You go along with those 2 herds of sheep. Kevin Blanch, I'm that guy. I'm that guy. And when my grandchildren, when I'm dead and gone, my grandchildren said, oh no. Because everybody in Austria always says Augustus, that's my grandpa. I'm not going with the herd. I'm going against the herd. They zig, I zag. They go freaking low, I go high. They go up, I go down. I'm not playing along with your sheep show. No, Kevin Blanch, the scientist who stood up. All great knowledge will be attacked, will be viciously attacked. All new knowledge will be persecuted. Kevin Semmelweis standing on the steps in Vienna. Little invisible germ flying in the air. What? That's blasphemy. So the work that I've done the work of 1,000 activists. I'm having surgery today. Thank you everybody supporting this historic work. We're going to suck this tumor out and biopsy it this afternoon. So hopefully it's the end. He stayed on his side, these circles. That's how this madness started. You know, hopefully, I mean, this has been ugly. You know what my path. I don't know how I'm alive. I really don't. Open heart surgery twice. You know, I've got a pacemaker now. My life altered forever. Yeah. Well, as Albert Einstein said, until the next one. So, the fallacy, they're going to dump the water. They are going to dump it. But they've been pushing this energy and said, where's the course? They're in the mantle. As I named Del Mar, Argentina syndrome. Very real. Leslie Stahl to Lake Barrett on day about 3,000. At Fukushima. This is like going to the moon fixing this. Lake Barrett to Leslie Stahl. I know Lake Barrett personally. Way bigger than that. This has never happened before. Where's these cores? See those holes over there? See the Pacific Ocean? It's in the Pacific Ocean, in the mantle. I mean, and we have the proof. I've presented all the data. You know, the KOA study in 2011, it's out there. You know, it's there. You can't chalk it up to coincidence. Coincidence doesn't get any science. Unarguable proof. Kevin Blanch hypothesized. I did the field work, then I defended my work. It's the greatest PhD in human history. Hopefully everything goes well today, and we can end this East 8 on its side. Start a new circle. Stay tuned.